The Harrison family, Jack, Emily, Ethan, and Marcus, had high hopes when they pulled into their new driveway in the quiet suburb of Oakwood Ridge. After years of city chaos, this sprawling house with its manicured lawn promised a fresh start. Barbecues in the backyard, kids playing freely, and neighbors who waved hello. Jack, a hardworking architect, imagined designing his dream home office. Emily, taking a break from her high-stress career, looked forward to gardening. Their teenage son Ethan was excited about the local tech club, and Marcus, Jack's father who had recently moved in with them after retiring from his law practice, relished the peace after decades in the courtroom. But paradise shattered within days. It started with a crisp envelope slipped under their door, a violation notice from the Homeowners Association. Their grass was a quarter-inch too tall, their car parked an inch over the curb, and heaven forbid, they'd hung an American flag without prior approval. The sender? Susan Hargrove, the iron-fisted HOA president. Susan was the neighborhood's self-appointed queen, a sharp-tongued widow in her 50s with a penchant for pastel pantsuits and passive-aggressive emails. Whispers among the residents painted her as a tyrant. She'd once fined a family $500 for unsightly garden gnomes, reported kids' sidewalk chalk art as vandalism, and waged war on overly festive Christmas lights, claiming they disrupted the aesthetic harmony. No one dared cross her. Those who did faced endless fines, anonymous complaints, or worse, social exile. The Harrisons dismissed the notices as petty bureaucracy at first, but Susan's vendetta escalated fast, turning their dream home into a battleground. Tensions boiled over when Susan dialed the cops on them for a noise violation during a family game night. Sirens blared as officers arrived, only to find the Harrisons quietly playing board games. "Ma'am, this is a waste of our time," one cop muttered to Susan before driving off, leaving her red-faced and fuming on the sidewalk. Humiliated, she switched gears, unleashing a smear campaign that would make tabloid editors blush. On the neighborhood Facebook group, she hinted at the family's shady finances, implying they couldn't afford the house. Anonymous tips flooded City Hall, fire hazards in their garage, unlicensed pets, even zoning violations. Inspectors swarmed their property, poking through every nook, but found nothing amiss. Undeterred, Susan lobbied the city council for stricter rules, painting the Harrisons as troublemakers who threatened property values. Whispers turned to outright lies, claims that Jack was dodging taxes, that Emily was hiding a criminal past. The family felt eyes on them constantly, paranoia creeping in like fog. Jack had enough. Diving into the HOA bylaws late at night, he uncovered Susan's hypocrisy. Her own backyard shed was an unapproved eyesore, and receipts suggested she'd misused association funds for personal luxuries like spa weekends. He rallied neighbors and secret timid souls who'd endured her wrath for years. One shared how Susan had driven a single mom out by fabricating noise complaints. Another confessed to paying hush money to avoid fines. Ethan, the tech-savvy teen, set up discreet cameras and recorded Susan's doorstep rants, where she'd hiss threats like, "You'll regret crossing me, I'll make sure you lose everything." He monitored her online footprints, screenshotting inflammatory posts. Emily, poring over legal databases, plotted countermeasures, her sharp mind cutting through the nonsense. Marcus, meanwhile, couldn't shake a nagging familiarity about Susan, her voice, her glare. It gnawed at him like an old case file. The plot thickened when a subpoena arrived for Jack, accusing him of tax evasion in a bogus case that smeared his professional reputation. Clients bailed, whispers spread at work. But the family dug deeper. Ethan hacked into public records, ethically, of course, through open sources, and unearthed incriminating emails from Susan coordinating with shady contacts to fabricate evidence. Emily revealed her secret. She wasn't just on sabbatical. She was a renowned civil rights attorney, specializing in fighting institutional abuse. "This ends now," she declared, her voice steel. Marcus's suspicion crystallized during a sleepless night. He recognized Susan as Carla Benson, a convicted embezzler he'd prosecuted 15 years ago. She'd swindled thousands from a charity, served time, then vanished, reinventing herself with a new name and a vendetta against the man who'd put her away. Was this revenge? The revelation sent shockwaves through the household, turning their fight personal and perilous. Susan, sensing the noose tightening, went nuclear. She hired private investigators to tail the family, digging for dirt. False reports hit Child Protective Services, alleging neglect toward Ethan, claims of him being left alone for days. The school got anonymous tips about behavioral issues, threatening expulsion. She even cornered Jack in a coffee shop, slipping him an envelope stuffed with cash. "Take this and leave town, or I'll destroy you all." The Harrisons reeled. How far would this woman go? Debates raged in their living room. Was Susan a victim of her past, lashing out, or a pure sociopath abusing power? It sparked heated arguments, even among them Marcus grappling with guilt over his old case, Emily furious at the systemic failures that let Carla slip through cracks. Climax hit like a storm. Emily shredded the CPS allegations in court with airtight evidence, exposing them as fraud. Marcus, leveraging his old connections, called an emergency HOA meeting, inviting law enforcement under the guise of community concerns. The packed community center buzzed with unease as neighbors filed in, many for the first time without fear. Marcus took the podium, his voice booming. Susan Hargrove is not who she claims. He unveiled documents, prison records, identity changes, embezzlement trails. Neighbors erupted, sharing horrors. One woman tearfully recounted losing her home to Susan's relentless fines. A veteran described being targeted for his PTSD service dog. Ethan, live streaming from his phone, captured it all, the feed exploding online as viewers debated the ethics of vigilante justice versus legal overreach. Susan screamed denials, her face twisting in rage. "You'll pay for this, I'll come back and ruin you." But handcuffs clicked as officers arrested her for parole violations, fraud, and conspiracy to harass. Her final glare at Marcus was pure venom, a chilling promise of unfinished business. In the aftermath, police raided Susan's home, uncovering a dystopian lair. Hidden cameras spying on neighbors, stacks of embezzled HOA funds totaling $200,000 siphoned for her lavish life, and dossiers plotting to frame the Harrisons with planted evidence. The false reports crumbled under scrutiny. CPS apologized profusely. The school retracted threats. Inspections deemed harassment. Emily filed a massive lawsuit against the HOA and city, arguing systemic corruption that enabled such abuse, igniting national debates on HOA overreach and identity fraud. Was Susan a monster or a product of a broken justice system? Online forums lit up, some defending her as a strong woman fighting back, others decrying her as a predator preying on the vulnerable. The community exhaled in relief. Neighbors threw a block party, toasting the Harrisons as heroes. Stories poured out. Years of suppressed grievances now aired freely. The tale went viral, sparking podcasts and op-eds questioning power dynamics in suburbs. Who watches the watchers? The Harrisons emerged stronger. Emily's expertise shone. Marcus confronted his past. Ethan's ingenuity proved invaluable, and Jack's resilience held them together. Susan or Carla was sentenced to 12 more years behind bars, her empire of fear dismantled. The family won substantial damages, setting precedents for HOA reforms. In Oakwood Ridge, unity bloomed where division once ruled, a reminder that standing against bullies demands courage, knowledge, and unbreakable bonds. But whispers lingered. Had justice truly prevailed, or merely shifted the shadows?